ما عندي صوت.
اقلبها هلا الناس كلها سمعتنا يعني. لسه هو اوف لاين، عرفت كيف؟ لسه ما طلعته على الهواء. الصوت عم يطلع.
وافد ما في صوت هون.
ما وصلك صوت الشيخ؟
ولا شيء. خلينا نشوف، يمكن مش مشغلين الجهاز.
يمكن ما مشغل.
بلا هلا بدأ يطلع.
ما في صوت.
هلا شغل الجهاز. مش راح يصير.
ما في صوت.
الحمد لله.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.
ثم أما بعد فقد بدأنا في المحاضرات الماضية.
We started last time a topic about the purification.
استهلنا الحديث فيه بقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فيما رواه
From the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, from what is narrated by Hatim, who said that purification is half of the faith. Alhamdulillah filled the scale, and subhanallah, alhamdulillah fills what's between heavens and earth, or the heavens and earth, and the prayers is light, and the charity is proof, and the patience is light, and the Quran is your proof for you or against you. And every person is going, either he is free in it, or he is putting it or destroying it. So we talk about a detailed explanation of this, and we went on details about some of the things of purification. The purification need what you need to purification, something that you're going to move the filth or the dirt, which is the water. And we talked about different types of water, and when it's mixed with the filth, or if there's a change with purified. And we say we're going to continue this topic today, inshallah. Now, when you use the gold and silver in purification, of course you can't use it in eating or drinking, and this is very clear in the Quran Sunnah. You don't drink or eat from the gold or silver, because the Prophet ﷺ said it is for them in this life and for us in the hereafter. That the person who drink from the silver, he is drinking from the hellfire. So to use the silver or gold, utensils, plate, cup, anything of that sort, and anything that is uh, that's not pure gold or silver gold or pure gold. This is something disputed among the scholars, but anything that is plated with gold, then you should not drink from it. Because in the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, even or a plate that has some of that in it, some gold. The Prophet ﷺ, his cup is got broken, so he fixed his cup with silver. But that's in the silver, but nothing in the gold. But to use gold or silver in eating or drinking, it should be from the thing that is completely unaccepted, because it's break the hearts of the poor, and you people who are looking at something to eat, and you're eating from gold and silver. Of course, it breaks their hearts. So it's not appropriate for a Muslim to do so. And whether you knew the wisdom from it or not, you just obey Allah. Like if you were invited somewhere, or went to a family that's not Muslim, and they cooked in their place, it is allowed. The rule is that it is accepted unless you knew that is filthy. If you knew it's filthy, then you should not use it, except after you wash it. And the Prophet ﷺ, he was invited to eat from a Jewish woman. She cooked in her own plate, of course, and he ate at her place from her food that she fixed. So it is allowed. So it is allowed unless you knew there is something filthy or something is not right in it. This is what you need to verify and not to eat. If you found out that it is, unless it is cleaned. And the Prophet ﷺ, one boy asked him to come and eat some bread and some meat that has a smell, that it was bad, but the Prophet ﷺ ate from it, because he eats simple things with everybody. And this is a character of the Prophet ﷺ, that he never turned nobody down or hurt anyone. And there is the hadith of Abi Thabit al-Shabi. He said, "Oh, I said, Prophet ﷺ, that we are in a people of the book. Do we eat from their place?" He said, "You don't, unless you don't find any. Then you drink from, you wash it, and then you eat from it." So the difference in between the two stories, that it's not new. What you knew that it was filthy, then you need to wash it, and anything beyond that, it is permissible. The Prophet ﷺ, he made wudu from, and it may be the word make wudu is not completely verified, but let's discuss this hadith clearly. Imran ibn Husayn, the companion of the Prophet ﷺ, said that they were with the Prophet ﷺ going somewhere, and then the night came in, And what was they went at the end of the night to sleep, and they overslept until the sunrise. And the first one woke up is Abu Bakr, and he will not wake up the Rasulullah until he wakes up. Abu Bakr, he will not wake him up until he wakes up by himself. So Umar woke up, and Abu Bakr start making takbir until the Prophet ﷺ heard him. So he woke up and prayed with us. And one guy did not join us. So the Prophet told him, "What stopped you from praying with us?" He said, "I had janaba." So he told him to make tayammum with the water, with that dust. Then he prayed, and the Prophet ﷺ, and we get thirsty. While we are going, we saw a woman she had two things of water. She said, "This is water." She said, "How much between you and the water?" Day and a half. So we took her to the Prophet ﷺ until we reached the Prophet ﷺ, and she told him what she told us, except that her husband died, and she's an orphans. So he asked to give her the food to leave. And we all drank from one of the karmat, and we each drank until we all got thirst, and we all filled our water, and there was and that water thing was still full. And then he said, "Bring what you have." So he wanted to give her for the water that they took. So she got dates, and she came to her parents. So the best magician, or he is a prophet like he claimed. So it's either he's a prophet or he is a prophet like they claim. And the whole, so she embraced Islam, and all of them, they embraced Islam. The Prophet ﷺ, after using her water, he told, "This is your thing, and still full with water, just like, and smear more, and the water still dripping from, because it's overfilled." The Sheikh is explaining the meaning of ta'ris, some of the vocabulary that's in that of that hadith. The Sheikh is trying to explain the vocabulary of that hadith. So the purification from the skin of the dead. We have hadith that whatever has dab, then it become purified. Is this and all the skins, or is it including the pig and dogs? Some scholars they said the Prophet did not put exceptions, so it should be without no exceptions. Except for the pig, some scholars they said that nothing is going to make him purified. Whether you slaughter him, he's alive, dead, he's still filthy. And that you take the mold or any filth from the skin of the animals. Anyway, the only dispute is about the pig and the dog. I mean, the water purification or distilled water, this is something that happens in Saudi Arabia, and there is a verdict on this. The water of the sewer water in cleaning, purification, all that, and it might even be mixed of some of the urination and so on. What is the role of this water when it become through a system to purify it, to distill it? It was discussed from the big scholars in Saudi Arabia that if they say that it is permissible and they find it pure after it's purified completely, where it came back to its original form. They don't see there is no color, discoloration, or taste. Then it can become water and become pure and purifying with other things. And the purification habit, just like you can drink it, unless there is medical reasons what prevent you from drinking it or using it. It is always better to keep the body healthy. And the scholar they said if there is a replacement, it's better to drink something else and to stay away from what the people might not like to drink from, and it could be used for anything else. Um, how about the nail nail polish or the paint? The painters who paint, his hand will have paint on it, or there is wax. Or how about the woman using the manicure, the nail polish? What does this have to do with purification? How can you do the ghusl or with these items in there? The correct in this matter anything but stop or prevent water from entering that part of that is required to clean in wudu, then it has to. And to prevent it after that, then you have to repeat again. This is the madhab of most of the scholars. They agreed that the correctness of wudu that prevent anything that could stop the water from touching the skin. Allah said, if you believe, wash your face and hands. And the Prophet ﷺ, he saw a man, he saw a small part that the water not touched it. He went from the ankles from the hell water. Some of the companions, they said that the Prophet ﷺ, he saw a man praying, and in the bottom of his foot there is like a quarter size of that he did not touch water. So the Prophet ﷺ ordered him to repeat the prayers, to repeat the wudu and then salah. So the water has to touch everything. And Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen, may Allah bless him, like if you had fat on the hand, what can he make wudu? He said if it is not solid, would prevent the water to go in. If it does, you have to remove it before wudu. About the siwak and the toothpaste, is the siwak only the stick that you know, that ud arak, or does it have any or the replacement that could do the same? If it meant to purify the teeth and remove the yellow part in the teeth, let's see what the scholar said about this. The word siwak means the brushing of the teeth. It does not matter what is used. And it was said for anything that used to brush to, and it was known that it is done on the stick from the tree of arak. The most used at that time, that from the roots of the tree arak. So that brushing of the teeth, no matter what is used, is what is siwak. Of course, it is closer to sunnah if you use that same siwak the Prophet ﷺ used. And when you look at the scientific part and how that arak, it removed a lot of germs that is not in any other types of roots. Ibn Kathir said, al-miswak, whatever you use of sticks that could brush the teeth. Others said to use any stick in the teeth to remove the filth or the dirt out of the teeth. The Prophet ﷺ did not only use arak. He used it most of the time, but he used other things. There's a hadith on the arak. From it, what Imam Ahmad and Sheikh Albani corrected, what Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said, that I used to brush from the swag of Iraq, and one time he used a root from the palm trees. In Al-Bukhari on Aisha, she said the Prophet ﷺ died in my house in a day while he's on my chest, and we used to make Allah's refuge when he gets sick. He looked at the heavens and the highest companion and the highest companion, and Abdurrahman ibn Abi Bakr, and he had uh, part of the palm tree that is still wet. So when she saw the process, look at it. So I took it from my brother and I cleaned it and I gave it to him. So he used it to the best to clean his teeth, and then his hand fell down or fell out of his hand. And it was my Allah combined my saliva and his last day of this life and the first day of the hereafter. The scholars did not make the rule that only has to be from the roots of Iraq. They said any roots that could be cleaning the teeth, and they used other roots. Ibn Abdul Bar said, and the one that is Suwak, what was known at the time of Arabs and the Prophet ﷺ is the Iraq and Masham and everything that used to be brush the teeth in it, and did not harm the teeth. And now he says it is better to use the oud of Iraq, the branch of Iraq, and anything to clean the teeth. Then it becomes siwak. And he used different forms of material he could use. And another scholar said you could use anything that could use to clean the teeth and to take off the yellow part of the teeth. It is better to be something soft, not going to hurt the teeth, like the Iraq Zaytun and Arjun from the palm trees. So the benefit is for the action of brushing the teeth, not for the material that you use, not the part. But the suwak is the Iraq is the closest thing to Sunnah. In summary, that you have no problem using the toothbrush and the toothpaste with the right intention and sincerity, you get the same reward what you reach from siwak. And if you can combine with them, that'll be better. How about the limbs? Some people they have artificial arm or leg to clean those parts from the jasa. You look, if that part is from himself, then it is pure. If it is given from a different person, Muslim or non-Muslim, it is pure, like the disbeliever is not just it is the is the filth of the belief, the ideology, not himself. When Allah said the mushrikeen, the one who have partnered with Allah, they are najas, they are filthy in their ideology, not in their body. So if you have parts, artificial hand or skin from him or anything like this, it is pure. And if it is from an animal, if it is purified, if it is not dog, pig, or dead animal, then it's permissible. And the only time you use that one is the forbidden ones if it is life depends on it, or there is no replacement. Like someone who has artificial hand or leg, you could take it out at time. If not, then you wipe on top of it. But another issue, someone he has a new teeth in his mouth. Would that affect is does he have to take it out when he gurgles his mouth? The correct, you don't have to remove it when you make wudu. And they use the hadith of Arfaja when the Prophet ﷺ ordered him to use a golden nose of gold, and he would not take it off when he make wudu. And the person might have a ring and might be attached one, and will prevent getting the water in there, and that does not, you don't have to take it off when you make wudu. But you could move it if you can. But this is our preference, not because you have to. The scholars that in wudu you have to move the ring when you are washing the hand if it is tight, and even though it's not known whether the water gets in there. But if it is loose and the water will go through, then it is okay. But it is tight, then you need to move it so the water will go and then from what is covered. And some said that you have to remove it until you make wudu and then put it back. About the artificial the nails, in a lot of businesses for women they put artificial nails. If a Muslim use that nails, even though we don't like it because it is against the natural sunnah, because we cut our fingernails, we don't add more nails. We don't let it go more than 40 days and we have to clip it. But anyway, these artificial nails, when you put it on top of the other nail, meaning all the nails will not reach water. The one that Allah created will not have water. So when you make wudu, you have to remove all those things you put, so you can make wudu. So a woman cannot make prayer even if you put it on wudu, not on this one. You make wipes on the shoes and the socks, but not on the nails. With a debate on the scholars whether it's allowed. But They said it is allowed, but when you pray, when you make wudu, you have to take it off. If it is within the normal length, within the 40 days. But if you put like half a meter, of course, no. This become animal claws, not nails. But if it is within natural length of the woman's, within the 40 days length, that it is okay. But you cannot make wudu with it on top of the nail because you have to remove it, because that means she's going to make wudu 5 times a day, and these are and this button, the nail, is very hard to take it off. This is her responsibility, but she have to move it. Another issue, the artificial eyelids. The eyelids, first of all, can you put an eyelid? The guard, you don't put it. And a lot of scholars, they stopped it because it looks, or because from the things that are forbidden. Because the al-wasala is the one that Prophet ﷺ has caused or asked Allah's mercy not to touch the person who put hair on top of hair. Let's see what are the artificial eyelids. It is hair made from plastic. You put it on the top lid of the eyelid. It has opening, will not stop the water from touching the hair. If it is like that, then the water will reach. So it's not preventing the actually it dissolves in water. Some of them they are. So when it will not stop the wudu or ghusl, because it does not stop the water from reaching the area. If it is like it was described to us. How about the creams and all the stuff you put on the skin, like the makeup? It is a formula that will not stop the water to touch the skin. Then all of this will not stop the wudu. But it will put a layer that prevent the water from touching the skin, like a wax. Then you cannot make wudu with it. You have to remove it, and you have to remove it before you make wudu. Even if it is you had wudu before it, you still have to repeat the wudu. But it was said, if this is on the hair, not on the skin, these colors or on the hair, then it is okay to make wudu if it is prevented layer. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he decided to his hair when he was making, and he said 15 days. And the talbid, to put something on the hair just like glue, like gel. So it's like gel that will prevent the water to go. And we know the Prophet ﷺ needs to make wudu and rub on his head, and he prayed the prayers, and he made ghusl. So what's on the hair is better than what's on others. The qastara, if there is something in the urination area, there is a plastic tube that goes in. That will allow the urination to come out through the tube without the and this will go through a bag and comes without the power of the illness, because he cannot either urinate or the hardship of it. And you should thank Allah for the good health. You really need to thank Allah for the good health you have. And some people, they have colon cancer, so he cannot use the bathroom. Number two, normal people. So the doctor, he will put a hole in the on the side that will allow the urination, and the number two, it will bring everything out of a tube and goes through a tube or something. What does that affect in the purification of the sick person? The correct, wallahu alam, in it, that you make wudu for each prayer, for each time of the prayer. So he make wudu for each time of the, like the door coming, he make wudu. If he forgot a prayer before that, he could pray. He don't have to make wudu for that one that he missed. As sometimes they said he need to make wudu for every prayer, meaning if he have to anything that is combined, he have to make wudu for each. And all of them, that you don't need all this kind of, you don't have to renew your wudu for the extra prayers. The difference is not on the extra prayers. They all agreed that if you made wudu and made the farida, then you could make as many farida with no problem. But if the obligatory among the ones that he missed, then he have to make wudu only once, and the other one they said for each prayer. Inshallah, continue inshallah Thursday, inshallah.